So, I've always been a dog person, and one fateful trip to PetSmart changed that a little bit. So one day I was out with my friend Leslie doing some errands, and she wanted to stop by PetSmart. So I said, I'm happy to stop by PetSmart, but I know that every once in a while they have those adoption fairs on, and those things make me so sad. I don't want to go look at them. If that's something you're interested in, I don't want to do it. So let's just kind of try and stay clear of it. So she agreed. So we go in, but PetSmart's much smarter than that. PetSmart. And yeah, so when you walk in, there's sort of no avoiding it. And you can just see out of the corner of your eye all these animals and just sort of get drawn to it. But I was keeping my distance because I noticed that what they were adopting were cats. And I'm a dog person, so I thought, oh, I have no interest. I can certainly go look at some of these cats. I'm a dog person. So as I'm sort of standing there, I noticed that there's this one cat who is putting her paw outside of the cage and like meowing. And I swear, it looks like she's doing it right at me. And I'm doing one of these, like, because clearly I'm a cat person. I mean, I'm a dog person, and why would she be talking to me? So anyway, I ended up going over, and I was just like, once again, well, it's just a cat. I'm a dog person, no problem here. And I'm just kind of looking at her, and then some chick named Julie comes like sweeping in. And Julie has been well trained. Julie then launches into, after just, hi, my name is Julie, launches into about a 10-minute diatribe about the perils of this cat, Ginger's life. So all I really remember is the very end of it where she was like, and Ginger had a nice house and a great home and parents and family that loved her, and then all of a sudden one day they were just gone. Can you imagine what that would be like? They were just gone. And I was like, oh. So the next thing I know, I've got like this cardboard box, and it's almost like a Chinese food box, but like for carrying cats. And I'm walking out of the store with this cat. And I thought, yeah, I'm gonna get this bitch Julie back big. I'll see her again somewhere, because I'm an adoptive parent, right? I'm not keeping this cat, so everything's fine. So I get the cat home, and Ginger spends, the first 2 days, I don't know where. I mean, she's either under my bed or in the closet, all kinds of weird places. But one day, I hear the strangest noise coming from the bedroom, and I'm like following the noise. It turns out she's sneezing, and I didn't know cats sneezed. I'm a dog person. Now, not only is Ginger sneezing, but now when she sneezes, blood is coming out of her nose. Okay, so like, dog person or not, I get that that's not right. And luckily, the fair, the adoption program, provides you with a vet that you can go to, should something happen. Okay, so after much trial and tribulation, I get this cat back into the Chinese food box, which is just so embarrassing. I mean, it looks like a temporary shelter, So anyway, we get into the car, and we're driving to the vet, and then I hear another noise. This cat is yowling. I mean, I've never heard a cat make a noise like that, like a yowl the whole way. So of course, I'm all on edge, and the cat's making all this noise, and okay, so we finally get to the vet. We're sitting on the little bench, I'm sitting here, and my cardboard box is sitting next to me. And they call our name, and it's out in the open, and it's time for Ginger to get weighed. Well, I'm a dog person, so all I do is just open up the box. Like thinking I'm going to do something. But Ginger completely preempts me, jumps out of the box, and is now like running helter-skelter around the lobby. Well, the vet tech is like this. Like, I can tell she's visibly pissed. And I look at her in like my nicest way, and I was like, look, I'm a dog person. And I don't speak cat. And I've tried. She doesn't sit, she doesn't stay, and there's no leash. So, not really sure what you're expecting out of this scenario right now. So, finally she's like, you know, all huffy, like, she goes over and, you know, she like scoops Ginger up, puts her on the scale, you know, and then puts her back into the cardboard box, and she's like, the vet will be with you soon. Okay, fine. So we go into the vet's office, and this time I know. I wait for him to open the box, because I know what's going to happen. So anyway, he opens the box, and I watch as he like very gingerly takes, you know, Ginger out, and the way he holds her, and I'm trying to take notes, because, you know, I sort of look at Ginger like this, like I'm not really sure how to come at her. So anyway, he does a brief examination, and he's like, oh, listen, it's no problem. Cats get this all the time. It's like an upper respiratory infection, kind of like how dogs get kennel cough. And I was like, oh, okay, that I get. He said, look, it's very easy. All she needs is like a 7-day course of antibiotics. And I was like, okay, great. And he said, have you ever given a cat medication before? And I said, no, but you know, it's like a dog, right? I mean, you just wrap it in cheese or something. And he looked at me like, oh, no. So he proceeds to get the medicine, and it's that pink, like, Keflex stuff, you know, that, like, bright pink stuff we all took as kids that tasted like bubblegum and Pepto-Bismol at the same time. So he's got her up on the ledge, you know, on the box, like the table. And he's like, okay, now just watch this. He proceeds to grab her by the scruff of her neck. And, like, as he does that, her, you know, she goes back on her haunches, her mouth opens, he shoves the medication in. The man must have seen the horror on my face. I said, I'm not doing that. He's like, no, it's just how we do it. It doesn't hurt, and you just have to do it that way. And I was like, whatever. I put her back into her, you know, Chinese food box. We drive home. So the next day, it's time for medicine. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to put Ginger on, like, my bed. It's nice and soft, you know, very relaxed, you know, okay. So she's on the bed, and, you know, I'm petting her. And I'm just sort of gently, you know, caressing her. Well, let me tell you something. 5 attempts later, my entire bedroom looks like a Jackson Pollock. There is this pink shit everywhere. It's like, it's dripping down my poor cat's face. I swear to God, it's all over the walls. The bedspread is completely, you know, a mess. Finally, I was like, oh yeah? I grabbed that cat by the scruff. I pinned her down, like, on the bed. I pinned her down, her mouth went open, I shoved that stuff in there, and I was like, okay, you know, done. So this went on, you know, for a couple of days, and finally, at some point, we get the call that there's an adoption coming up, and I should get Ginger ready. I know it was that Julie chick too, you know? Who was like, hello, we're just calling, making sure you and Ginger will be joining us. So the first thing I'm thinking is, really, first of all, we're under the weather and no one's going anywhere. I'm sorry. And then I thought, and second of all, you bitch, it's too late. It's just too late. She's staying. You've done your magic and everything that is supposed to happen, and now I have to keep her because I just can't give her away. And by the way, they never, ever, ever called again. So I guess if you don't go to the first one, they just figure, and they never call you again. So, you know, when I told my family that I had a cat, this is how much of the dog people we are. Both of my sisters' reactions were just, ew. And my mother was like, Rebecca, how am I gonna, I can't come visit? How am I supposed to share a space with the cat? And by the way, she did come visit, and that's another story. So anyway, Ginger and I ended up living together for 10 years as my sweet kitty. And although I wouldn't, really call myself a cat person per se, I was definitely her cat person.